Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media. We hope you've had a wonderful day and that there's been good things that have happened to you. We are here with our executive producer,
Ida Crawford,
and myself, Ruth Haskins. Today we have coming to the mic Tegan Helen. She is an incredible 11-year-old on a mission to help kids be safe, and loved. Tegan became a best-selling author and award-winning inspirational speaker at age 7, and now is the author of 5 books and an international speaker. She has spent time with and learning from world changers such as Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, and Grant Cardone. Her passion is teaching kids life skills that are not taught in the classroom. Well, welcome, Tegan.
Yes.
Hello, it's such an honor to be here. Thank you for taking the time to interview me.
Oh, thank you so much. We are definitely honored to have you. So tell me, sweetie pie, how did you get started with this?
So it all started when I loved to read books. And one day I noticed my mummy and daddy were reading books. After reading books like Harry Potter, fairy books and Roald Dahl books. So I asked them if I could read one of their books, and they gave me Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki with a dictionary. And I read it, and there were so many big hard words in there. So a couple of days later, I brought it back down to my parents, and I said, I got bored of the dictionary. And they say, maybe we'll try again in a few years. So I rushed back up the stairs and I got this giant stack of paper and I said to my parents, I wrote a kids version. And that is how Money for Kids started. And 10 days later, we sold it at a kids fair.
Wow.
Okay. So what was the content of that? That was from Robert Kiyosaki's book. It was your version of it? Oh my goodness, did your parents help you to edit it down so kids could understand it?
Yes.
Okay.
I wrote the basic content like compounding interest and assets and liabilities, and they helped me edit it down. I do education for kids.
Okay, so what do you teach them?
So I teach them all different kinds of those skills like money, which is my book, Money for Kids. The power to unlock your dreams, where it's all about the law of attraction plus action. Being fearless for kids, be fearless for kids. It's all about being fearless, how to overcome your fears and how to stop bullying. Have courage and be kind is all about that. Kindness is everywhere, just sometimes it takes courage to use that and to share it with other people. And Burnt on Fire, which is my life story and how I've overcome all my challenges.
Wow.
Okay, well, what challenges have you had?
Yeah.
So, when I was 3 years old, I used to be left alone. I had bad parents then. I have awesome parents now because I got adopted. But I had bad parents and they used to leave me alone. And 2 years old, they put a cigarette out my head and made a scar.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Wow. And so that's an amazing story, young lady.
Thank you.
So when you teach the kids, can you get into a little bit of, kind of what you teach them? I know you said something about money, but how do they interpret it? How do you get it over to them that it's very clear to them?
So I use fun stories, I use examples, I use activities. but most of all, I flow. So I give them, it's fun. It's not like this big book that they have to sit for hours and try and read and understand all the content. It's simple, it's fun, it's full of activities, it's full of examples, so they enjoy reading it.
Okay.
So what is it that you teach other young children about money? What are some of the principles, so to speak, that you provide for them?
So I don't want them to work in jobs that they don't like for 30 odd years and wake up one day to realise what are they doing with life. I want them to have this head start so they can live their dream lives when they're older, so they know what to do with money.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do with money?
Like compounding interest. If you save £1 a day for 50 years, you can become a millionaire. If you have more money and more freedom, because you're not stuck working trying to pay the bills every day, you have more choices of what to do with your life. Liabilities. I teach them not to waste their money on things that won't get them anything like that, like new toys. And assets is what you buy for a certain amount of money and get even more money back from it when you sell it to others. So I teach them how to use money instead of letting money use them.
Oh, I like that concept.
I like that too. That's very true.
And a lot of adults could probably learn a few things from you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So some of the kids in your you do workshops and things like that?
Online.
Okay. So some of the kids, what are the ages of the kids that are usually in your workshops?
They're normally 6 to 14, somewhere around that age range.
Okay. Okay. So are they actually using the principles? Are you able to, actually see them in action with the principles that you're providing them?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I get to see them use it in action. They actually use it.
Okay, now some of the kids, I know you talked about earlier about being on a job for 30 years that you don't like. So that's already introducing entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So some of the kids, have they started their own little businesses?
Yes.
Wow.
Some kids cut grass and they make money from it. Because all they need to do is save a certain amount of money to buy the lawnmower. Then they get all the other money. Some kids walk dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now you have a big stage to work on, so you're bringing in a different level of income. What would you say to a young person or a parent who's listening to you right now? How would you tell that parent to introduce their children or their child, let's make it simple, their child, to really understand money? What would you tell a parent? Or if there's another child listening right now, what would you say to them to help them understand what money is and how to use it?
I would say to them, be a great example, learn together. As my mummy says, action speaks louder than words. If a parent does all these things with money, the children will start to follow.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Now, what are some of those good examples? What are some of those good examples that a parent can set? If you can think of one.
Like my mummy. Or let's say, for example, there's a parent who invests money and they always do it to save, to get more money out in the long term. And if their child starts to see them do it, they will start to do it as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So you're saying that even young people should start looking at investing, doing some level of investing. They should, two things I've heard you say: have parents who set a good example, but also for young children to consider having a job, even if it's something, it's going to be something small. Used to be newspaper delivery, so cutting grass. Uh, Maybe there's something else that they're good at. I know some kids are good at different hobbies that they can turn into money, a little
Yes,
job
they
for
always
themselves.
can.
And then when you get that money, you don't go out and spend on toys and video games. You take a portion of that and basically you pay yourself first. That's your investment in yourself. Now, what do you tell young people to do with the rest? Now that they've paid themselves, they've invested, they set money aside that they're not touching. Do you show them what to do with what's left over?
So in Las Vegas, I went to a 10x Growth conference by Grant Cardone, and I had 150 books of my money for kids. And by doing my pitch, I sold all of them in 2 days and made $3,500.
Okay.
Wow.
So now you did that and you paid yourself, you took part of that money and set that aside. Now the remainder, if anyone else should do that, write a book and sell that many. They pay themselves, then they have something left over. What would you tell young people to do with what's left over? Do you teach them how to budget? Do you teach them how to think about where they want to put the rest of that money?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all in my book, Money for Kids. I invest and get 12% out of my investments, and 10% goes to charities that I'm supporting.
Oh,
Okay.
excellent, excellent.
Good.
I like hearing that.
I
That
like hearing that
not
too.
all about, again, it's not about running out and buying video games and nonsense. You've taken care of business in more than one way. You've taken care of yourself, and then you're open to taking care of someone else or something else that's important to you.
Yes.
Do you have a special charity that you really like giving to?
NSPCC.
Okay. Okay, so that is the National Association.
Children's.
Go ahead.
National Society for Protection of Children.
Oh,
Very
okay.
fine. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
And with the money, buy experiences, not stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Good.
Then it lasts a lifetime. Stuff can break any time.
Yeah.
The experience that you truly love can last forever.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Like have a special time with your family. Go to the beach or go to a water park. Do something that you'll truly treasure forever.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're an awesome young lady.
Yes, she is. She
Yeah,
is
thank you.
awesome.
Depth of understanding that is unusual for one of your age. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate that you're being a light in the world and helping other young people to recognize that money has a value, it has a place, and that there's something that you can do with it that's going to be worthwhile. And that in the end, it's not just about having it all for yourself, that it's about giving back, because there's somebody who needs that money. Money is only good if it's moving. If it's all sitting in one place and you're like hoarding it, it's useless.
Yeah.
But then you receive it and send it back out into the world. You are setting a wonderful, wonderful example. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank your parents too, because they're doing a fabulous job with you.
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
Yes, they are. So, what's the title of your book again?
Money for Kids. I've got 5 books. Number 1 is Money for Kids. Number 2 is The Power to Unlock Your Dreams. Number 3 is Be Fearless for Kids. Number 4 is Have Courage and Be Kind. And number 5 is Burnt on Fire.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
Awesome.
give us a little bit. I am just so proud of you.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
I am so proud of you. You are definitely a shining light. So give us a little bit from each one of your books. I know we talked about the money book. let's talk about the other books, a little bit from each book.
So, for Power to Unlock Your Dreams is about the law of attraction plus action. I read the book, The Secret, and I saw how many people in the past were hiding it from a lot of people, so they could be the ones that were super successful and wealthy. Then a lady called Rhonda Bryan let it out and let all grown-ups know, but kids were still not knowing, so I shared it with kids. And when I read that book, I felt there was something missing. You can't get $1 million by just thinking about it, can you? You have to take action. So I wrote The Power to Unlock Your Dreams to get this message across to help them create their dream life.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, will you teach the kids about that? Because you already know about fear, I'm sure, and how sometimes moving into action can be scary for not just kids, but for adults as well. So how do you help kids to get rid of that fear so that they can move into action?
So this is my third book, Be Fearless for Kids. It has all my tools and tips in, and this is the process I used myself to become fearless. It's had all my life experiences of becoming fearless in. Because before I started my journey to fearlessness, I was always really scared. I held my mummy's hand. But now I have done crazy things, like walk on fire. I've walked on glass. Or I've broken through a piece of wood with my hand. And I've done this by becoming fearless. And how did I do it? I started focusing on others instead of myself. When we focus on others, we're so much more freer. We know we're doing it to impact that other person. But when we focus on ourselves, we think of crazy things like, what if they laugh at us? What if something goes wrong? But when you focus on the other people, magic things can happen. You can save lives.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, you can.
That's true.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Wow. You are just a blessing on top of a blessing.
Oh, yeah. Could you talk about courage and kindness, I think is the other book?
Yes, that's my fourth book, Have Courage and Be Kind. It's for 52 kindness acts that you can do every week. And it's for a whole year. And it gives you that boost of courage. Being kind, it sounds like a simple thing, but it always takes courage to do. Like being fearless. You need courage and braveness to do it. But as long as you've got that mastered, the kindness you can share is unlimited.
Wow.
So, for example, when we was in London, we used to run around when the housemaids cleaned all the rooms in Premier Inn, and we used to put single roses on their trolleys. So when they came out, they would see this beautiful rose, and we used to do like every level to put this single rose on. And when we went down to breakfast, we sometimes gave the chef like a bag of chocolates and sweets. So it does show our appreciation and being kind.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a lovely touch. Yes.
It is.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. People need to see random acts of kindness.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
right now people really need it. We really need it. And we're not really able to do it as much as we used to. But we'll keep that thought in mind for the future. Yeah. And even now, I'm sure that with a little thought, we can figure out ways of doing these random acts of kindness.
Oh yeah. Even in the COVID-19, there's definitely things that we can do. We can, to help people, to show that love.
Yes.
And to be kind to people.
Mm-hmm.
So
like little hellos and waves and how are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
yes.
And smiling with your eyes, even if you have a mask on, people can see a smile when it's coming through your eyes.
Yes. Yes.
So we can't let the mask stop us from smiling.
Or
Yeah.
draw it on.
There you go. That's an idea.
Yes.
Smile on it.
So how do people get your book? Your book.
So they can go to Amazon and type in my name, Tegan Helen.
Mhm.
Those go to all my books and they're all in 3 different languages. Or we can go to Facebook, Tegan Helen, or Instagram, which is Tegan Helen Princesspreneur, or my family's website, foreverfamilyforeverfree.com.
I love that.
I do too.
That's a lovely family website.
Yes, it is. I can't wait to visit. I like the name. It's very, very heart feeling. It's, it makes you feel like it's heart. The heart is there.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I want to say this to you, Tegan, and I know we didn't go into depth and we don't want to really, but you mentioned that your beginnings were not the easiest. And I think that in itself is a great encouragement, not just for yourself, but for everyone. Most adults don't get to do that work until they're grown up. They don't do it when they're young. So they don't realize the impact that it has had on their lives. But it seems that at this point, you've recognized it. To some degree, you've dealt with it. And out of that has come a real love and a real passion for other children so that they can have hope of a better life, regardless of what their current circumstances happen to be. And I think that is most honorable and most commendable. Continue the good work. Continue.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
The thing that helped me overcome my past the most was Tony Robbins helped me with Master Co and Dr. Johnny Epstein. Plus, I've had my awesome parents, which have coached me.
We can see that. We can see your parents in you.
Yes.
And that is a commendation for them as well.
Yes, exactly. Because you are definitely, what many parents would love their children to be doing, making a difference in the world with what God has given them. So it's definitely a blessing. And because you are a little one and you're putting this into other kids, that's going to make a huge impact with kids because they see you doing all of these great things. And then they feel like if you give them that encouragement to be able to say, I can do it too.
Yes. And I have a little brother called Tyler David. He's just turned 8. And you can check out his books as well. They're 3 tips for aliens. They're mainly for 2 to 6-year-olds. And they're so awesome. He has 15 books on Amazon.
What?
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a very journalistic family. Yes. Excellent. Excellent. All righty. How old is he again?
He's 8.
He's 8. All righty. Very fine. I think that's just amazing. I think it's amazing. I think you have an amazing family. I'm so happy for you that you were able, that there was something in the universe that saw you, spotted you, and said, I know exactly where to take Tegan. And so you are where you are, and that you're using your gifts for so much good. It's such an inspiration. It's an inspiration to me.
Yes.
And I want to say one other thing, and I hope that our listening audience will take this in. Most young people between the ages of 4 and 7 actually know who they are. They know. They have that knowing. They know. Each one of us, I believe, is born with a blueprint, so to speak, when we're conceived.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Unfortunately, so many parents, well-meaning adults, try to teach that out of their children. Their child will say, I want to be this. And the parents will say, no, I want you to be that. And they get talked out of it. And it's not until their later years that they finally realize that something's missing. So I hope our listening audience hears you, that you were 7 when you started this whole real process of presenting yourself to the world with a message. Every human being is born with a message that needs to be given to the world. And they usually know when they're a child, whether it's that they're an artist or a sculptor or a dancer, whatever. If it's a written word, if it's a spoken word. I hope our listening audience will pay attention to what you told them. You're 11 years old. You are traveling the world with your message. And your message is a light and a gift.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And other kids, and you're empowering other kids, which means the next generation, because of you, will be totally different.
Yes.
Yes.
Totally different.
Yes. This is a message that our children need to hear because they're not hearing it. So thank you. And thank you to your parents and your brother.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up, how can people get in touch with you again?
So they can go to Facebook, which is my name, Tegan Helen. They can go to Instagram, which is Tegan Helen Princesspreneur. Amazon, Tegan Helen, which has all my books. And the website, Forever Family, foreverfree.com. And don't forget Tyler David's books, 3 Tips for Aliens.
Okay, I love it. We will not. Thank you so much, Tegan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Word on the street says there's something new at Just Minding My Business Media. You've heard our podcast, Just Minding My Business Radio, that brings news and views you can use. That airs every Thursday at 6 p.m. on iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and Spreaker. Well, now you can watch Just Minding My Business. That's right, Just Minding My Business Media now has a TV presence on Raven International TV Network, broadcast on Roku, Fire, and Apple TV. Your business, through Just Minding My Business Media, has exposure on internet radio, major social media platforms, and now TV, through Just Minding My Business dynamic digital marketing platform. Don't listen to the word on the street. Hear it for yourself. Visit jmb.asistercircle.org to learn how you can take your business, your vision, to the next level. Thank you to the amazing women of A Sister Circle Empowerment Network, ASCEN LLC, and our media partners. Let Just Minding My Business Media promote your business. For information, visit us at jmb.asistercircle.org. That's jmb.asistercircle.org. Voiceovers by RCH VoiceWorks, for when you want to be heard. Call 443-620-4115.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.